All right, I'm joined now by Coach C.C. Grant, head coach of the Coast Guard Bears. Coach, a rough outing this weekend. How do you make sense of the 60-0 score against Springfield?
Well, I would say it's a little bit more of a rough outing. They were, I guess, a perfect storm for them. And, you know, I told the team we're not going to make any excuses, but we certainly didn't play well. And you get a team that is playing their first home game. You get a team coming off a bye week, and they were chomping at the bit. So they went for the jugular right away, and they successfully grabbed a hold of it and didn't let go.
Yeah, interesting move right at the top of the game to do an onside kick. What was the thought there?
I think what they saw was our kids were bailing, and you know, it's ironic that I said something I always say when I yell as the ball's getting ready to be kicked, is I normally yell, "See the ball kicked," and our kids were right in the middle. Did not. They turned their backs, and the kicker was a perfectly placed onside kick to himself. So, you know, you take that, you look at it, and you know, obviously the first for us, those two kids up front were freshmen. So lesson learned. We'll certainly do better.
Well, when I look at it, you know, it's the perfect, at least for Springfield, trifecta: blown out, shut out, and then shut down. Part of me wonders, you know, your defense had a really big game the week before, and I'm kind of curious. You know, they were on the field for 90 plays, 40 minutes the week before. Any chance that it was just a fatigue?
I'm sure that might have played into a little bit. I also think it's the style of offense we were facing. I started another freshman linebacker for the first time ever, and he actually played well. But you're playing against an option offense like that, which is not easy to defend. And if you're not technically perfect, you know, those things happen. We've had teams here, 2018, 2019 that defended that stuff pretty well. But by then, those kids that were juniors and seniors, they had seen that stuff, 6, 7 times. And I think it makes a difference. I think going forward, we'll be better. We play Kings Point. I'm sure our kids will be more familiar with it, understand what is happening to them out there. So there's a lot of firsts out there for a lot of people. And when you get, you can add in what you said, maybe we're a little fatigued from the week before. We just didn't perform well. So, and they beat us in every phase of the game in every way. So, I take my hat off to Mike Sarasulo and Springfield.
Gotcha. Hey, real quick, I am kind of curious. I want to talk about the triple option versus what Coast Guard plays. The other academies, Army, Navy, Air Force, make a big deal. I know there's some debate as to kind of exactly whether or not Air Force is playing like a true triple option. Is there any reason Coast Guard doesn't play more of a triple option?
I think years ago, we ran it for a couple of years here. And then, we had a big-time recruit, a kid who was drafted in Major League Baseball, and he was also, at that time, he had a Division I scholarship to play quarterback, and he was not an option kid. And we thought at that point in time, if we can continue to get kids like that who would come here, there would be no need for us to run triple option. So I think, from a recruiting standpoint, especially nowadays where kids are throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game in high school, and you don't see a lot of option-type kids, it makes it a little bit easier to find the spread-type quarterback and receivers and running backs.
And just one more quick question. As we're talking right now, we're almost exactly 1 month from the big Secretary's Cup game against Merchant Marine. Merchant Marine went up against Norwich this past weekend, beat them soundly. Merchant Marine's now undefeated 5-0. Coast Guard played Norwich, what I believe is a week ago, came away as a 29-24 score. What's your take as you look ahead to the Secretary's Cup? Are you kind of a week by week and you're just on the next game, or at what point will you turn your attention towards Merchant Marine and preparing for that big game on the 13th of November?
After we get done playing WPI, to be honest with you, I am a week by week type of person. We haven't even thought about Merchant Marine, to be honest with you. We know they're there, but so is Catholic, and they're pretty good. So is MIT, and they're the week after, after we come off our bye week. So we don't give a lot of thought to it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of build up to it, maybe prior to the game and maybe even starting the week before that. But I like, especially after you get beat 60-0, you kind of focus on the task at hand.
And then any takeaways or anything you want us to be thinking about as you prepare for this coming week's game at Catholic? By the way, we look forward to seeing you at that game. Behind the Lines will be there to cover your game in D.C. this weekend.
I just told the guys, let's just reset. And, just like we do every week, I tell them to flush it. Whether we win or we lose, let's flush it. We watch film, learn from it, see what we did well, what we can do better, and then we move on. So Catholic's a very good team. It's so funny that we play a team that ran the ball, 95% of the time, and we go to play a team that probably throws it 90% of the time. So different game plan, different type of run style, totally different type of offense. But we're looking forward to it. There'll be a lot of alumni and Coast Guard people down there in D.C., and I know it's Catholic's homecoming.
Yeah, well, perfect, Coach. It's a new game and a new week, and we look forward to seeing you there. I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, Coach Grant.
Hey, thanks for having me, Grant.